Ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome. Don't forget to help us by subscribing on our channel, clicking on notification icon to get all new. In this video we talking top 10 best beaches in the world. If you have other opinion, share in us please on the comments. Cathedrals Beach, Ribadeo. Spine for a congregation visit like no other. Head to Ribadeo, on Spain's northwest Galician coast, where wave-cut, 100-foot shake curves taking after flying braces of Gothic houses of God line the sand. Stroll among them at low tide. However, be careful. When the Bay of Biscay rises, the shoreline rapidly capitulates to the surf, as Cathedrals shoreline deciphers as shoreline of the Cathedrals. It is the touristic name of Praia de Aguas Santas. The Spanish shoreline is situated in the Ribadeo district, in the territory of Lugo, on the Cantabric coast, and it lies around 10 kilometers toward the west from the town of Ribadeo. Its name is gotten from the arrangements of its precipices. It has been announced a natural monument by the local Ministry for the Environment of the Xunta de Galicia. The spot's progressively trademark highlights are its characteristic curves and gives in, which can be seen just in low tide. Amid elevated tide, the shoreline shows up very little, however is as yet appropriate to take a dip. Elevated tide is an intriguing time to visit the spot and meander over the highest point of the bluffs, from west to east, making a beeline for the Estero beach. Amid low tide you can value the extent of its great precipices and the pleasant ocean caverns, which go from little breaks on the stone to enormous caverns whose rooftops break down because of the disintegration of the waves. Additionally, amid low tide you can access a sand store delimited by a rough divider produced using slate and schist of unusual and complex structures, more than 30 meters tall curves which remind to basilica flying supports, dozen meters in length caverns, sand passages between rough squares and numerous different interests. At the point when low tide is lower than expected, you can get to the adjacent shorelines through the sand expansion. Nonetheless, it is prudent to be back before the water begins to cover the shoreline once more, which happens all around rapidly, since the coast extent is practically level. Anse source d'Argent, La Digue, Seychelles with sun-dappled monster rocks, quiet turquoise waters, snow-white sand, and palm trees and wilderness for greenery. This Indian Ocean shoreline appears made by a Hollywood set creator. It's no big surprise that usually positioned as the most shot shoreline on the planet. La Digue is the third biggest possessed island of the Seychelles as far as populace, lying east of Praslin and west of Felicite Island. As far as size it is the fourth biggest granitic island of Seychelles after Mahé, Praslin and Silhouette Island. It has a populace of 2,800 individuals, who for the most part live in the west coast towns of La Paz and La Réunion. There is no air terminal on La Digue, so to arrive from a remote nation, one needs to travel to Victoria and proceed by ship, for the most part by means of Praslin. It has a zone of 10.08 square kilometers, which makes it generally simple to go around by bicycle or by walking. La Digue was named after a ship in the armada of French traveler Marc-Joseph Marion Dufresne, who visited the Seychelles in 1768. The Seychelles all in all have warm temperatures consistently, on account of their area close to the equator. They get visit and now and then substantial precipitation. On La Digue, precipitation can be overwhelming, yet it for the most part goes on for 1 hour or less. The day temperature on La Digue typically remains between 24 degrees Celsius (75 degrees Fahrenheit) and 32 degrees Celsius (90 degrees Fahrenheit), and the evenings don't get an excessive amount of colder than that. There is most precipitation from October to March, with a month-to-month precipitation of 402.6 millimeters, 15.85 in January. There is minimal precipitation in July, with just 76.6 millimeters, 3.02 of downpour. 1 Foot Island, Aitutaki. Cook Island's marooned vibe is so obvious here it tricked hit show Survivor to this 15-island atoll. Tepuite. One impression in the nearby Maori lingo is a short jump over the translucent tidal pond. With a coconut palm-bordered shoreline you can follow in 15 minutes. However, don't surge. And remember an impression-molded international ID stamp from the Hovell-turned mail station. Aitutaki. Likewise generally known as Aurora, Ararau and Aitutaki, is one of the Cook Islands, north of Rarotonga. It has a populace of roughly 2,000. Aitutaki is the second most visited island of the Cook Islands. The principal town is Rarotonga on the west side. Aitutaki is almost atoll. It has a most extreme height of around 123 meters with the slope known as Maungapu near its northernmost point. The land region of the atoll is 18.05 square kilometers, 6.97 square miles, of which the principal island possesses 16.8 square kilometers, 6.5 square miles. The Utu Peninsula, descending east from the fundamental island in a southerly heading along the eastern edge of the reef, takes up 1.75 square kilometers, 0.68 square miles out of the primary island. For the tidal pond region, figures somewhere in the range of 50 and 74 square kilometers, 19 and 29 square miles, are found. Satellite picture estimation recommends that the bigger figure likewise incorporates the reef level, which is generally not thought about piece of a tidal pond. The hindrance reef that frames the premise of Aitutaki is generally the state of a symmetrical triangle with sides 12 kilometers, 7.5 miles long. The southern edge of the triangle is absolutely underneath the outside of the sea, and the eastern side is made out of a string of little islands including Manger, Akayami, and Tekapua. Sunset Beach, Brunswick Islands, North Koala. Not the west end of this remote shoreline. A mile from the passage, a lone post box stands, planted by nearby Frank Nesmith during the '70s. And consistently recharged with notepads welcoming guests to write musings, dreams, wishes, and whatever else moves the soul. At the last part of the Brunswick Island chain, Sunset Beach has the refinement of being the southernmost surf in North Carolina. Be that as it may, while it might be toward the end in geology, many discover it the highest priority on the rundown for a tranquil, outdated, retro shoreline excursion. A stroll to Bird Island is dependably a family top choice. For very nearly a mile, the shoreline houses offer approach to a standout amongst the most immaculate shorelines in Brunswick, where every one of that isolates you from the surf and bog is a wide stretch of shoreline and ridges. Find sun, moon and stars at the Ingram Planetarium, or by just taking in the dawn or nightfall, the two of which can be seen over the water a while of the year because of the island's one-of-a-kind situating. Come to Sunset Beach to reconnect with nature, and with your family too. Lazy Beach, Koh Rong Samloem Island, Cambodia. Whenever covered rooftop cabins, crystalline waters, and slick sand shorelines aren't reason enough to jump on board a wooden pontoon in Sihanoukville and join the 2-5-hour side trip into the Gulf of Thailand. At that point, acknowledge this current shoreline's name and come to wander the wilderness, rest in patio swings, and let life moderate to a slither. Welcome to Lazy Beach. a private tropical hideaway on the island of Rong Samloem off the shoreline of Sihanoukville, Cambodia. We offer you wonderful shoreline-side cabins set on a brilliant sandy shoreline with clear blue waters neglected by a dazzling eatery and bar. Our beguiling wooden homes all have two vast two-fold beds, en-suite restrooms and an extensive gallery offering water's edge perspectives on the warm tropical sea. Apathetic shoreline is a significant lot of squeaky clean sand set in a lovely strait encompassed by tropical wilderness. The quiet ocean offers safe swimming and fabulous swimming straight off the shoreline in two of Cambodia's incredible plunge destinations either end of our sound. Bowman's Beach, Sanibel Island, Florida. Shell seekers hunch in a position named the Sanibel Stoop, looking for kongs, kikwinus, sand dollars, and many different assortments that hitch a ride on Gulf of Mexico flows. Stock up on caps, containers, and sunscreen at Bailey's General Store. An island top pick. Perfect and calm. You won't discover any lodgings here. Park and stroll over a scaffold to isolated white shoreline. There is an open-air shower situated at this shoreline. This is the main shoreline with grill flame broils. Situated off Sanibel Cathedrals Road. Go left on Bowman's Beach Road up island. Bathrooms, changing rooms and outside shower. Curiously large, 20-foot and over, vehicle leaving. A few free debilitation leaving -7 spaces. Open air tables and barbecue flame broils. Open phone at bathrooms. Nature and wellness trails. Kayak and kayak propelling. Shell Beach, Shark Bay, Western Australia on the edge of the landmass, and part of the Shark Bay UNESCO World Heritage Site. Incalculable white cockle shells. Up to 30 feet somewhere down in certain parts. Spread for miles. Take only pictures. Stop at Old Pearl Restaurant. Fabricated all together of shells from this shoreline. Shell Beach is a shoreline in the Shark Bay area of Western Australia. Found 45 kilometers, 28 miles southeast of Denham. Arranged on the northeastern side of the Telfer Isthmus along the El Haradon Bight. The shoreline is secured with shells for a 60 kilometers, 37 miles stretch to a profundity of 7-10 meters, 23-33 feet. It is one of just two shorelines on the planet made completely from shells. The shoreline was named as a result of the extraordinary plenitude of the shells of the cockle species Frigomarugatum. The seawater in the El Haradon Bight has a high saltiness because of both the geomorphology and neighborhood atmosphere of the zone. This high saltiness has enabled the cockle to multiply unchecked, since its regular predators have not adjusted well to this condition. The shells have shaped a limestone that is known as coquina. Before Shark Bay turned into a World Heritage Site, the coquina was dug and utilized for the development of various structures in Denham. Lyme Regis. Gland-sprouting scientists and easygoing shellers love the winding-formed ammonites, and fossil survives from 180 million year-old ocean animals found implanted in the stone and sand of England's Jurassic coast. The Lyme Regis Museum leads guided fossil strolls, and May's yearly fossil celebration fates Earth sciences with plays, music, and hands-on displays. Lyme Regis is a beachfront town in West Dorset, England. Arranged 25 miles 40 kilometers west of Dorchester and 25 miles 40 kilometers east of Exeter. The town lies in Lyme Bay, on the English Channel coast at the Dorset-Devon outskirt. It is nicknamed the Pearl of Dorset. The town is noted for the fossils found in the precipices and shorelines, which are a piece of the Heritage Coast, referred to economically as the Jurassic Coast, a World Heritage Site. The harbor divider, known as the Cobb, includes in Jane Austen's epic Persuasion, and in The French Lieutenant's Woman, a novel by British author John Fowles, just as the 1981 film of a similar name, which was halfway shot in Lyme, Regis. The town was home to Admiral Sir George Somers, its one-time City Hall leader and parliamentarian. He established the English frontier settlement of the Somers Isles, also called Bermuda. Lyme Regis is twinned with St. George's, Bermuda. In July 2015, Lyme Regis was additionally tripled with Jamestown, Virginia, to shape the historic Atlantic Triangle between Lyme, St. George's and Jamestown. In the 2011 census, the town's area and the discretionary ward had a populace of 3,671. Cannon Beach. Oregon Wanderer is welcome on the majority of Oregon's 400 miles of open shorelines, including this wide strip of hard-stuffed sand that has the additional beautiful sight of Haystack Rock approaching seaward. A yearly puppy show spreads out before the surfs and resort every October. Gun Beach is a city in Clatsop County, Oregon, United States. The populace was 1,690 at the 2010 evaluation. The principal recorded voyage by an American to what is currently Cannon Beach was made by William Clark, one of the pioneers of the Lewis and Clark expedition in mid-1805. The undertaking was wintering at Fort Clatsop, about 20 miles (32 kilometers) toward the north, close to the mouth of the Columbia River. In December 1805, 2 individuals from the Endeavour came back to camp with lard from a whale that had stranded a few miles south, close to the mouth of Ecola Creek. Clark later investigated the locale himself. From a spot close to the western precipices of the headland, he saw the most fabulous and most satisfying prospects which my eyes at any point studied. Before a vast ocean, that perspective, later named Clark's Point of View, can be gotten to by a climbing trail from Indian Beach in Ecola State Park. Carmel City Beach. Carmel-by-the-Sea, California. It's difficult to state who gets more delight on Carmel's shoreline, the pooches that can cavort off rope, or their parents, who can ogle at world-acclaimed Pebble Beach toward the north and Point Lobos toward the south, says Kelly E. Carter, creator of National Geographic's The Dog Lover's Guide to Travel. Carmel-by-the-Sea, frequently just alluded to as Carmel, is a city in Monterey County, California, United States, established in 1902 and joined on October 31, 1916. Arranged on the Monterey Peninsula, Carmel is known for its regular landscape and rich creative history. In 1906, the San Francisco Call dedicated a full page to the artists, essayists and artists at Carmel-by-the-Sea, and in 1910 it detailed that 60% of Carmel's homes were worked by natives who were devoting their lives to work associated with the tasteful arts. Early city councils were commanded by craftsmen, and the city has had a few city hall leaders who were artists or on-screen characters, including Herbert Herron, author of The Forest Theater, Bohemian essayist and on-screen character Perry Newberry, and performing artist executive Clint Eastwood. The city is known for being hound cordial, with various inns, eateries and retail foundations concealing visitors with pooches. Carmel is additionally known for a few strange laws, including a preclusion on wearing high-heel shoes without a license, established to avoid claims emerging from stumbling mishaps brought about by unpredictable asphalt.